As a natural-born member of Lucha Libre royalty, Jose Alberto Rodriguez Chucuan was practically destined to step into the wrestling ring. But rather than a smooth transition into the family business, his career took a roller coaster ride full of backstage brawls, abrupt exits, and some serious domestic drama. Once a dazzling performer with a bright future, Del Rio's legacy became tainted by his own controversial actions. When it comes to a WWE comeback, the odds are stacked against him. Del Rio has frequently voiced his desire to return to WWE, claiming he has unfinished business. However, the company hasn't exactly rolled out the red carpet for him. So, let's take a good look into the tragic fallout of the promising Alberto Del Rio, the horrifying sexual assault. Former WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio found himself in some serious hot water, and it's not the kind you get from a relaxing spa day. The story of his alleged misdeeds is getting more intense as new charges and claims pop up like an uninvited guest at a party. On May 9th, 2020, the former WWE champion and winner of the Money in the Bank match was arrested and booked by the Bexar County Central Magistrate on a second-degree felony for sexual assault. Del Rio, whose real name is Jose A. Rodriguez Chucuan, managed to post a $50,000 bond, which probably felt like a hefty price tag for a get-out-of-jail-free card. He strutted out of prison early Sunday morning, but this is one storyline where the drama is far from over. NBC News 4 San Antonio reported some truly horrifying details from an affidavit about the 42-year-old former top star. According to investigators, the latest incident went down on May 3, 2020. Alberto Del Rio allegedly accused the victim of cheating on him. When she wouldn't admit to the supposed affair, things took a wild turn. The report says he got so angry that he slapped her across the head, slapped her again for good measure, and then dragged her to his downstairs bedroom, where he slapped her 8 more times. But it didn't stop there. The victim claimed he then demanded she put on a dress and dance for him. When she refused, he allegedly threatened to make things even worse, warning her not to cry or he'd take her son and drop him off in the middle of the road somewhere. It's like a twisted plotline from some crime drama, but unfortunately, this one's all too real. The police reported that Rodriguez Chucuan tied the woman's hands with boxing straps, put a sock in her mouth, and sexually assaulted her for several hours using various objects. Investigators also said that he punched her in the back during the assault, leaving visible injuries. The victim told detectives that she doesn't remember much after he placed his hand around her throat. Alberto Del Rio's violent behavior contributed to his departure from WWE, despite having a promising career. He had the chance to become the next big Mexican star after Rey Mysterio. In 2011, Del Rio made history by becoming the first minority to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. He capitalized on this opportunity by becoming the first Mexican-born WWE champion when he cashed in at SummerSlam that year. Del Rio was also fired in 2014 after he slapped Cody Barbieri, a former WWE social media manager, because he claimed Barbieri made a racist remark. Del Rio returned to WWE for a short period in 2015, but his career soon faced more difficulties. He got involved in a rocky relationship with retired WWE superstar Paige. In 2017, they had a domestic incident at Orlando International Airport where Del Rio was detained for domestic battery. However, audio recordings later suggested that Del Rio might have been the one making the accusations.
Let's do it. Stay out of my life. Leave me the alone. You trying to get away from here. All this time, yes, you deserve it. You didn't have the money to keep your face on the water. You are pressing charges against you. Press charges, don't press charges.
During their crazy relationship, Del Rio and Paige both faced suspensions for violating WWE's wellness policy. Around this time, Del Rio reported to the authorities that he had been attacked by someone with a knife during a physical altercation. Despite these issues, Del Rio was given another chance when Impact Wrestling hired him. He even became the company's world champion. However, his time there was short-lived, as he was quickly fired in 2018 for failing to show up at an event. In March of that same year, Del Rio hinted that he might be making a comeback to WWE. However, the company quickly denied these claims, making it clear that a return was not in the works. Alberto Del Rio, once seen as a future WWE legend, now faces a bleak outlook in professional wrestling, despite the industry's never-say-never attitude. The former WWE champion's downward spiral could make him a future feature on Vice's Dark Side of the Ring. On December 11, 2021, charges against Del Rio were dismissed. These included 1 count of aggravated kidnapping and 4 counts of sexual assault. According to court records from Bexar County, Texas, the charges were dropped because a key witness did not show up in court. An arraignment, hearing, and trial were scheduled, with the trial set for Monday, December 13th. But the case was ultimately dismissed due to the missing witness. Because the charges against Alberto Del Rio were dropped due to a missing witness, he was released from pretrial supervision, cleared of any liability related to the case, and his $50,000 bond was refunded. The case is now closed, with no additional court costs or fines. The trial had been delayed multiple times, partly because of the COVID-19 pandemic and other issues. It was initially set for January 25th of this year, but was pushed back to May 3rd, then delayed again to August 2nd, and later postponed to October 25th. It was finally rescheduled for December 13th, but this will no longer take place due to the case being dismissed. If convicted, Alberto faced a potential prison sentence ranging from 5 years to life, not to mention the huge taint on his career. In November 2020, the victim publicly apologized on social media to Alberto Del Rio's family, expressing regret for the emotional distress and pain they had experienced because of the charges. In response, Alberto's brother claimed that the charges were not true and were made up. Alberto himself had mentioned in interviews that he believed the case would eventually be dropped. Who is Alberto Del Rio?
I want to introduce you to your opponent and the next United States heavyweight champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Alberto Del Rio!
Born in San Luis Potosi, Mexico, Rodriguez comes from a legendary family of wrestlers. His father is the famous luchador Dos Caras, and his uncles include the iconic Mil Mascaras and Psicodelico. Wrestling talent runs deep in his family, with his cousins Psicodelico Jr. and Hijo de Psicodelico also stepping into the ring. Even his younger brother Guillermo ventured into the wrestling world, signing with WWE in August 2012 and joining NXT under the ring name Memo Montenegro. Unfortunately, Guillermo's time with WWE was short-lived, as he was released in July 2013. Rodriguez pursued his education at the Universidad Autónoma de San Luis Potosi, where he earned a degree in architecture. Despite his academic achievements, the call of the wrestling world was too strong to ignore. Growing up surrounded by wrestling legends, Rodriguez decided to train in Greco-Roman wrestling under the guidance of coaches Lionel Kolesny and Juan Fernandez. His dedication paid off when he earned a spot on the Mexican national Greco-Roman wrestling team. Competing at the national level, Rodriguez achieved significant success. In 1997, he placed third at the World Junior Championships in the Czech Republic. He also triumphed at the Central American and Caribbean Games, winning his weight division 3 times. Additionally, he secured a medal at the Pan American Games. Rodriguez was on the verge of representing Mexico at the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, Australia. However, due to a lack of funding and support, Mexico did not send a wrestling team to the Olympics that year, halting his Olympic dreams. After missing out on the chance to compete in the 2000 Olympic Games, Rodriguez shifted his focus to the family tradition of professional wrestling. He began training under his father's guidance and made his debut on May 9, 2000 as Dos Caras Jr. His first appearance was dramatic, rushing into an AAA show to rescue his father from an attack by El Texano and Pirata Morgan. In the following years, Rodriguez worked to hone his wrestling skills by performing in both Mexico and Japan. In Mexico, he was a mainstay with Adol A, participating in events like the 2002 Verano de Escandalo, where he teamed up with El Grande, El Hijo del Solitario, to defeat Pirata Morgan, Sangre Chicana, and El Brazo. Rodriguez's journey into Japanese wrestling, known as Puroresu, began in 2001 with the Battle Arts promotion, where he scored a victory against Kazunari Murakami at the Yukibamba Yi event. He returned to Japan the following year to wrestle for Pro Wrestling 01 and All Japan Pro Wrestling. Throughout 2002 and 2003, Rodriguez primarily wrestled for 01 before joining the Hustle promotion. At Hustle, he performed under the names Dos Caras Jr. and Hustle Cayman Gold until October 2004, participating in their inaugural event and continuing to make a name for himself in the Japanese wrestling scene. Rodriguez made a brief appearance on WWE programming as a security guard during the June 30, 2008 episode of Monday Night Raw. By the fall of 2008, rumors began circulating that he had wrestled a dark match for WWE and was offered a contract. Conflicting reports about his status with WWE persisted over the next few months. loss. Despite the speculation, Rodriguez remained the CMLL World Heavyweight Champion. It wasn't until he lost the title to Ultimo Guerrero that rumors intensified about his potential move to WWE. However, Rodriguez clarified that he had signed a 4-year deal with CMLL, opting to stay with them because they offered him a better deal than WWE. On June 17, 2009, Rodriguez confirmed that he had signed a 3-year contract with WWE. Unlike many new signees, he was not required to go through WWE's developmental territory, Florida Championship Wrestling, and would instead join the main roster directly. He also retained the rights to his name, mask, and image, though WWE could use them for promotional purposes while he was under contract. This agreement addressed the primary reasons he had initially turned down WWE's offer in January 2009. Despite these assurances, Rodriguez did wrestle a match in FCW against Chris Logan under the name DOS. He later performed under the ring names Dorado and El Dorado. During the August 6 taping of the Abraham Washington show, he introduced a new, unmasked wrestling persona named Alberto Banderas. His decision to reveal his face sparked criticism from some in the Mexican wrestling community, but Rodriguez defended his actions, stating that only a few people knew the real reasons behind his decision to unmask. During WWE's WrestleMania Revenge Tour of Europe in April 2010, Rodriguez participated in several untelevised matches for the Raw brand. On one occasion, he wrestled as Dos Caras without his mask, playing the role of a villain and losing to Christian. The following month, he wore his mask again for WWE's Tour of Mexico, portraying a hometown hero. However, he returned to wrestling unmasked in subsequent untelevised matches for Raw and SmackDown shows. Later, Rodriguez expressed his dislike for his time in FCW, but acknowledged that he learned a lot during that period. Rodriguez was previously married to Angela Velkay, and they had 3 children together. Velkay filed for divorce in June 2016, citing adultery as the reason for their separation, which he stated occurred the previous month. On April 28, 2022, Rodriguez, known in wrestling as Del Rio, shared a video requesting blood donations for Velkay, who was hospitalized at Hospital San Jose in satellite Naucalpan, state of Mexico. He did not disclose the nature of her health issue. Tragically, on May 2, 2022, Del Rio announced on social media that Velkay had passed away. In May 2016, Rodriguez started dating fellow professional wrestler Soraya Jade Beavis, widely known as Paige. Their relationship quickly became public, and by October 2016, they were engaged. However, their romance was short-lived, and they broke up in late 2017. In a controversial interview with Hannibal TV on July 14, 2021, Rodriguez threatened to reveal Paige's past arrests and accused her of domestic violence. Rodriguez also ventured into the restaurant business, opening La Cantinita in San Antonio, Texas in 2016. Unfortunately, the restaurant closed its doors in November 2017. On a brighter note, Rodriguez became a naturalized U.S. citizen on May 24, 2018. Rodriguez's WWE journey saw a significant milestone on June 25, 2010, when he appeared on SmackDown as the unmasked Alberto Del Rio. WWE aired promotional videos weekly, portraying Del Rio as a wealthy, arrogant Mexican aristocrat who prided himself on his virtues of honesty, integrity, and intellect. After 2 months of build-up, Del Rio wrestled his first match at a house show in Brisbane, Australia. A week later, on August 20, 2010, he made his television debut on SmackDown, defeating Rey Mysterio in the main event with a cross-arm breaker submission. His character was further enhanced by making grand entrances in expensive cars, introduced by his personal ring announcer, Ricardo Rodriguez. The following week, Del Rio attacked Mysterio after his match with Kane, inflicting a storyline injury by refusing to release his armbar. 2 weeks later, he defeated Matt Hardy by submission, marking Hardy's last appearance with WWE. This led to Christian, Hardy's friend, challenging Del Rio to a match at Night of Champions. Although Del Rio initially declined, he later attacked Christian on the September 24th episode of SmackDown, injuring him similarly to Mysterio, writing Christian off television due to a real-life torn pectoral muscle. Mysterio returned on October 8th, defeating Del Rio in the main event. Later that month, Del Rio defeated Chris Masters to qualify for the SmackDown team at the Bragging Rights event. However, during the pay-per-view, Del Rio attacked his teammate Mysterio and was subsequently eliminated from the match by Team Raw's CM Punk. At Survivor Series, Del Rio captained a team against Mysterio's team in the traditional 5-on-5 elimination match. Although Del Rio's team lost, he was taken out of the match by Big Show's knockout punch. On the November 26th episode of SmackDown, Del Rio defeated Big Show via countout, qualifying for the 2010 King of the Ring tournament. He progressed by making United States champion Daniel Bryan submit in the first round, but lost to John Morrison in the semifinal after being distracted by Mysterio. Del Rio's feud with Mysterio culminated at TLC. Tables, ladders, and chairs in a fatal four-way match for the World Heavyweight Championship, which included Edge, Kane, and Mysterio, but was won by Edge. On January 7, 2011, Del Rio finally ended his long feud with Mysterio by defeating him in a 2 out of 3 falls match, with assistance from Ricardo Rodriguez, who prevented Mysterio from re-entering the ring. On the 4th season of NXT, which began in December 2010, Alberto Del Rio took on the role of mentor to rookie Conor O'Brien. O'Brien was the second contestant eliminated from the competition on January 18, 2011. The following week, the remaining rookies competed in a fatal four-way match, with the winner getting the chance to change their mentor. Brodus Clay won the match and chose Del Rio as his new mentor. After NXT ended, Del Rio brought Clay on as his bodyguard. On January 30, 2011, Del Rio achieved a major career milestone by winning the 2011 Royal Rumble. He outlasted 39 other participants and last eliminated Santino Marella to secure his victory. This win earned him the right to challenge for either the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 27. The next night on Raw, Del Rio announced his decision to challenge Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. At the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Del Rio attacked Edge after Edge successfully defended his title, setting the stage for their WrestleMania showdown. Christian, who had been out with an injury, made a surprise return and attacked Del Rio, aiding Edge. On the March 18th episode of SmackDown, Del Rio faced Christian in a steel cage match, which Christian won. When WrestleMania 19 arrived, Del Rio faced Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship, but was unsuccessful in capturing the title. On the April 8th episode of SmackDown, Del Rio defeated Christian to earn a rematch against Edge at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. However, on the April 11th episode of Raw, Edge unexpectedly announced his retirement from professional wrestling due to medical reasons. This turn of events led to a new match setup. Del Rio would face Christian in a ladder match for the now vacant World Heavyweight Championship after Christian won a battle royal to earn his spot in the match. The fallout. Del Rio entered the public spotlight in a big way when he and Paige were involved in an altercation at Orlando International Airport. The incident, which happened around 3 p.m. on a Sunday, led to confusion about what actually occurred and who was responsible. The police issued a statement saying the altercation was a domestic violence battery incident and that it was still under investigation. No arrests had been made at that time, but the case remained open. At the time, Del Rio was holding the Global Force Wrestling Championship, and the company suspended him on July 12, 2017. Pending investigation. They issued a statement emphasizing their commitment to cooperating with law enforcement. TMZ released audio from the airport that sounded like an argument between Del Rio and Paige, which fueled rumors of a domestic dispute.
Let's do it. Leave the clocks. Stay out of my life. Leave me alone. Control down. Away from you. All the time. Yes, you deserve it. You didn't have the right to be in your face on the water. I'm pressing charges against you. Press charges, don't press charges!
Paige later tweeted her version of events, stating that she had received a distressing phone call about her uncle, which left her emotional. She went to meet Del Rio, and they began bickering over a minor issue. In a moment of anger, Paige admitted to throwing a drink in Del Rio's face, which she regretted. She walked away, followed by Del Rio, which led to an escalation involving airport security and police. A bystander reported the incident, leading to confusion and Paige being held for battery charges. She clarified that Del Rio never touched her and denied hitting him with a glass, as some rumors suggested. Paige and Del Rio appeared on Busted Open Radio, speaking with Bully Ray to explain that the incident had been blown out of proportion, echoing Paige's comments on Twitter. During the interview, Paige mentioned that they can laugh about the situation now, but at the time, it was a complete media nightmare for them and their families. She explained that they argue like any normal couple, but because they are in the public eye, the media blew it out of proportion and made it seem like a huge disaster. She said they are waiting for the official report to be released so people can see what really happened. Paige admitted that they shouldn't have argued in public, but also said they are a couple and can't avoid living their lives. She joked that sometimes they say mean things when they fight, but that's just part of their relationship. Alberto echoed her sentiments, saying they argued like any normal couple and it was just a bad day. He added that the internet spread a lot of false information about the incident. They have been waiting for the official report to come out because, in today's world, it doesn't matter what you say, as the internet will create its own narrative. He pointed out that they both have strong personalities and are intense in both their love and their fights. He described them as passionate people who go all the way in their emotions. Alberto explained that it was just them being angry and saying things they didn't really mean, but the media decided to turn it into a big deal. Paige also shared that Alberto made a comment he shouldn't have, which led to her throwing a drink over his head. She jokingly added that he deserved to have the whole plate of spaghetti dumped on him. Alberto admitted that he said something mean and shouldn't have, repeating that it was indeed a mean remark. Paige addressed her younger fans specifically, expressing her regret for how they acted. She acknowledged that their behavior was inappropriate and apologized for it. She noted that while she can apologize, Alberto prefers to show their fans how they should behave in public from now on. He added that if anyone was offended, it was not their intention, and they are committed to moving forward in a better way. Bully Ray, the host of the interview, pointed out that while they claim everything is fine, Paige's family has expressed serious concerns about her well-being. Paige responded by saying she loves her family, but some of the things in the media are exaggerated and scary. She suggested that her family's reactions were influenced by these alarming stories. TMZ Sports later reported that Del Rio was initially investigated after Paige screamed at him in the airport. Paige admitted she was the aggressor and had thrown a drink at Del Rio. The Orlando PD recommended charging Paige, but the case was closed because Del Rio, the victim, did not want to press charges. Following the airport incident, Paige's brother, Zach Beavis, expressed his concern for her on Facebook. He highlighted past issues with her former partner, Brad Maddox, and his worries about Del Rio. He described Del Rio as a control freak and worried that Paige was being abused. Another of Paige's brothers, Roy, also spoke out, sharing photos that he claimed showed Paige had been beaten over the last 6 months. He mentioned that the argument at the airport was related to their uncle's severe illness and Del Rio's insensitive comments. Despite the tension between Paige's family and Del Rio, Paige and Del Rio continued their relationship until late 2017. Their work commitments and long-distance relationships proved too challenging to maintain. Del Rio explained to the UK Sun that they ended their relationship because of the demanding schedules and the distance between Orlando and San Antonio. With all that's been going on with Del Rio, journalist Dave Meltzer, who covers wrestling for the Wrestling Observer Show on the YouTube channel F4W Online, suggested that Alberto Del Rio might have had better luck getting the social media manager Barbary properly punished if he had gone to human resources. Some believe Del Rio should never have physically hit anyone, so he faced the consequences of his actions. However, there is also an argument that derogatory comments deserve a strong response too. In the heat of the moment, Del Rio was emotional, which led him to react impulsively. Considering how quickly WWE let Del Rio go, while the social media manager kept his job, it's arguable that Del Rio might not have gotten the response he wanted, even if he had handled the situation differently.
Me being a known person, in the moment they charged me with this, they made me guilty right away. There's no such a thing for us celebrities. There's no you're innocent till they prove you guilty. No, for us celebrities or known people, you're guilty till you prove yourself innocent.
As for where Alberto Del Rio is now, he has reportedly been busy working with major corporations like UFC as a commentator. He is doing well for himself and has made it clear that he wants to live a drama-free life, especially given his past controversies. Del Rio's history with WWE was filled with controversy, and he wants to avoid any further trouble. This is completely understandable, as the drama surrounding his WWE career could have negatively impacted his opportunities. Ironically, despite the past issues, he has managed to stay busy, successful in his current endeavors. Sadly, despite his desire to move on from his past, Alberto Del Rio still comments on it occasionally. He has threatened to expose Saraya, formerly known as Paige, if she ever speaks about or accuses him of anything regarding their relationship. Del Rio claims that during their time at WWE, he protected Paige, contrary to public opinion.
Everybody knows who am I talking about. We had a confidential agreement, you and I, for $1 million. That's the reason why I never said anything.
More recently, Del Rio suffered a personal loss when Angela Velke, the mother of his 3 children, passed away due to health issues in May 2022. He announced this sad news on Twitter. As for the possibility of Del Rio returning to WWE, it seems very unlikely due to the rocky history between him and the company. Del Rio has expressed multiple times that he feels he has unfinished business with WWE and would like to return. However, WWE has not made any public statements indicating that they would welcome him back. When Paige was still with WWE, WWE, there were concerns that Del Rio's presence would make her uncomfortable. There have been rumors that Del Rio would participate in the 2023 Royal Rumble as a surprise entrant, but even if this were to happen, it is doubtful that it would lead to a long-term contract. Since Vince McMahon retired from WWE in July 2022, Del Rio has not heard anything from the company, making his return even less likely. Enjoyed the video? Crave more excitement? Stay tuned by clicking on any of the cards on your screen right now for more thrilling content. See you next time.